If you remember how the MACD works, it's the moving average convergence divergence. It is basically measuring the distance between two different moving averages. In the case that we have this one set, it is a 10 and a 50. And then we briefly had a look at this other number here, 9, which is a moving average based on the outcome of the MACD. So at any point where you follow this 9 signal line here, for example over here, it is saying that the average closing price of the last 9 MACD values was at this level. With a lot of Forex systems, like the crossover systems and many others like it, we are trying to find the point where the market is shifting and then continuing with the bigger picture, where it's continuing with a larger trend. But there are some strategies which help you determine when the trend has changed, and it gives you a chance to actually hop in and trade against the trend. Now it is a bit riskier, and this is not for the faint of heart. However, the profits can be massive with this sort of thing. What we are doing with this larger MACD, being the 10 and the 50, is we are looking for points where the signal moving average breaks away from the value of the MACD. So for example, down here, we see that the signal has gone below the black bars of the MACD, and this is indicating to us that the market is shifting quickly in an upwards position. This might be a good time to buy. Now we can see here that this worked out very well. We could have made quite a lot of money off of this, but there are obviously a lot of times where it fails. For example, over here, we had the signal goes below the black bars of the MACD, and not very much happened off here, because this would be telling us it's time to buy. We are basically trading the reversal. We're saying that this is the point where the market is changing direction and we are going to try and trade against the trend. Here is an example of a sell. We had the signal move above the black bars of the MACD. So it's telling us that the market was moving up, as we can see by the MACD here being very positive and becoming even more positive. And then it started coming down faster than the signal could keep up. So it's shifting direction relatively quickly. And now we're in for a possible sell. And again, we can have a look at the stochastic and see, well, the stochastic is not oversold. It's oversold only later, but not where we'd be making our decision. And this could be a possible entry for a sell. But now how do we confirm this? Because we're trading against the trend, we can't really confirm with the trend. And because we're using the MACD to place an entry, we can't use the MACD to confirm itself, can we? No, we can't. And how are we going to even use stochastic? Because we're always trading against the trend, stochastic would never really tell us it's too late to enter the trade, or at least it would be very, very rare. For example, over here, we managed to hit oversold, but only after we had decided to enter the trade. Well, how I like to do this, to confirm whether or not it is actually a buy or a sell, and because we are trading against the trend, which is quite risky, I need something else to tell me, yes, this is a likely point where the market is going to snap back, where it's going to reverse on itself. And if you remember to what stochastics is telling us, when the value goes over 80, we're saying that the market is overbought, it is likely to turn back quickly. When it goes below 20, it is oversold and it is likely to go back quickly. So for me, when I trade this MACD system, and many of my clients who are trading it now, when you see that the signal has moved above the MACD, this would be signaling time for a sell. We want stochastic to have recently been in oversold, because stochastics is also telling us that the market has moved too quickly in the wrong direction and it's likely to pull back. So, quite simply, we are being very risky by trading against the trend, but we do still have a confirmation. Let's have a look at a few other examples. See over here, we had the signal moving average. It went below, and here we're making our decision. But this is one of those rare times where the stochastic is responding very, very quickly. Even though it was recently oversold, we can see at this point here, where we'd be wanting to make a decision, it does look like it has already happened. Here we have a potential buy, but Stochastic was oversold 1, 2, 3, 4 candles ago, which is too far. We want it to be either already still in oversold or 1, maybe 2 candles away for us to confirm that. Here's another buy that didn't work, and I'm sorry for showing you all the ones that didn't work first. I just don't want you running out and chucking in a couple $1,000 and burning up all your money because something looks good. Here's a potential sell. However, Stochastic was 1, 2, 3. Yeah, even that is a little bit... 3 might be acceptable depending on how things are looking. So if this was our decision candle, it was recently overbought. This is telling us to sell. So we would be entering at about this price level here. And remember, we're just looking for entry points. We will be discussing stop losses in a separate video altogether. I'm just going to go back to some random point in time, and here we will stop. Now here we have a potential buy where the MACD has shifted up very quickly. This is actually a massive shift, and the signal is definitely underneath. We line it up, and here we are already in overbought. This would be the candle that we'd be making our decision on. This one would have to close, which would confirm this movement here, and this is the candle that we will be looking at, deciding if we're going to place this trade, and it is already overbought. So this would be danger, danger, danger. Now we see here that the MACD has gone underneath, or the signal has broken above. So that would be the candle. This candle closes. This is the one where we'd be making our decision sometime during this little candle. And we see Stochastics is heading down but is not oversold yet. So this would have been a valid entry. So we are using the MACD in a similar way to the regular crossover, where we're trying to find these turning points in the market where the market is shifting quickly. We are then using Stochastics to confirm whether or not it's overbought or oversold, i.e. to tell us not to enter the trade. And we are looking for when the Stochastic was recently overbought or oversold. So if MACD is telling you to sell, that's when the signal goes above the black bars. We want to see that it was recently overbought, because both of these things are telling us that the market will be heading down. When the signal goes below the black bars, MACD is telling us we could look at a buy. And then we look and see, was it recently oversold? In this case it was, but it had also entered into overbought. This is quite an extreme example, but I'm glad that we found it, because then we're looking at, yes, it was oversold, but it's already overbought, and this will always override. If the market is overbought, you will not want to buy. If it's oversold, then it's too late to sell.